Right. Again, we'll pick it up again. Dan Hardy here. We're trying to fight one of the best guys to come out of the UK MMA guys. And we just had a press conference of Francis Ngannou versus Tyson Fury, the baddest man on the planet. Who's got the best argument?
Well, I mean, you know, it depends on what context. The baddest man on the planet is Francis Ngannou because in a fight, he's the one that most likely is going to come out on top. But as much as I won't underestimate Francis Ngannou in boxing, I wouldn't underestimate Tyson Fury in MMA either. Like, I feel like you teach him a few elbows and knees and a bit of takedown offense, and that man's going to be problematic.
Yeah, obviously, like, you know, it's a boxing match for now. Obviously, there's talk of them doing a MMA fight, but we don't know if that's going to happen. But in terms of boxing, you know, who do you think's got the edge here?
Oh, I mean, it's an easy one. I mean, of course, Tyson Fury, you know, he should win 10 times out of 10. We're not here for the 10 times out of 10 that Fury wins, though. We're here for the maybe 1 in 100 where Ngannou lands and hurts him. And this is what's intriguing about this. And for me, you know, you've got someone like Deontay Wilder who has got good boxing fundamentals and big power, and he was able to land on Fury, but he moves in quite a traditional way. Ngannou doesn't move in a traditional way. This is why he's going to be a difficult thing to predict, because his punches come from really weird angles, and it's going to be a lot for Fury to figure out.
Yeah, obviously, everyone thinks it's going to be like a walk for Fury when it's not. They're both fighting man, and he's got a punch of chance at the end of the day. So, like, I just think that it's a good fight. It's not just, oh yeah, it's come from MMA, he's not going to get a chance. In the day, he's got a chance because in the day, we've all seen the punching power video. Hits hard.
Exactly.
So, hits hard on Wilder, maybe, arguably. So.
Potentially, absolutely. I mean, we're seeing him knock people out with 4-ounce gloves. Imagine when he can throw full power with 10s and not worry about hurting his hands. It's a different thing again. There's no doubt that Francis Ngannou is a scary individual. But I expect Tyson Fury to give him the respect he deserves. It was a very respectful press conference, and I think he realises that, I mean, he's got a dangerous individual, a killing machine in front of him, as he kept saying. But Tyson's a fighting man at the same time. He knows that people can fight, people can punch, and you can't underestimate anybody.
You can't, especially in the fight game, you can't, one split second of lapse in concentration, it's all over for you. So Tyson has to be switched on the whole time. For the whole 10 rounds, he has to be switched on. Same as Ngannou, because everyone says, oh, Tyson Fury can't hit. His last 3 fights, he's put them down permanently, so you can't write him off either. Everyone thinks, so he's got 3 of this, but now he's under Sugar Stewart. He's a regenerated fighter, so I just think that it's a very interesting fight, and I think we'll be talking about this for a long time afterwards as well. I think he's got all the makeup to be a great fight. But in MMA, if they switched it over in different roles, I just think Francis will give him one kick and he'll be out of here.
Quite possibly. I mean, of course, you know, like the power in his hands cross over into his legs as well, and you know, Fury's not necessarily taken a low kick from someone as powerful as that before, even if he has ever taken a low kick. But like I said, I can't underestimate Fury. I feel like he's got an instinct for fighting, and I feel like if you give him the right techniques, he'd do well. And I also do think that we will see this fight in MMA as well. Ngannou signed to the PFL. PFL are open to working with Tyson Fury, so I think we'll see it happen.
Okay, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. It's open, because all the talk of boxing fans and MMA fans, now things can actually happen.
We're all fight fans, right?
All the fight fans. Just stepping away from boxing for a second, MMA. Like it's a bit. The landscape's changing in the UFC all of a sudden. So you know, what are your feelings on those?
You know, I agree with you. I think there's a lot of shifting going on in the sport right now. I mean, some of the champions are embedded and holding their ground. Some champions have just recovered the belt. You know, we're getting new champions left and right as well. I think you can't count anybody out at this current time. And I think that within the next sort of 6 or 12 months, we're going to see probably 30% of most of the weight classes step away into retirement. And then we're going to see the younger talent coming into the top 15. And that's where we're going to really see another big jump forward in the sport.
Obviously, I'm from Birmingham, so I'm two brothers that, you know, I know very well, Leon and Fabian. Like, you know, Leon's done really well to become world champion. He didn't want to fight Colby, but he's got it. Then put back into a corner. He has to fight him now. How do you think that fight goes?
You know, I think it's a good fight for Leon. You know, I think he manages range very well. I think he moves very, very well. and I think it's going to be difficult for Colby to trap him up against the fence and start working his takedowns. I mean, Colby's relentless, of course, but he's going to be relentless walking onto a lot of kicks and punches. And I think that's the big difference with Leon. He's very accurate. He's got a good output, and I think he's found his confidence now. He's the champion. I think he realizes that he does belong here. It is his belt, and I think that confidence will go a long way against someone that pushes a pace like Covington does.
One last question about my close friend of mine, Tom Breeze. He recently became champion, double champion in the
Levels.
Fight, from double champion. Like, he left the UFC and he's gone leaps and bounds and grown as a fighter. Have you watched his progress at all?
I feel like Tom Breeze is going to get signed very soon to somebody. I won't say any more than that, but I feel like Tom Breeze is going to find a home very soon.
Yeah, because obviously the UFC didn't know what to do with him.
He's a superstar.
He's a superstar, man. He's an excellent fighter. We used to box as kids when we were box as kids, so I know him quite well.
Yeah.
So I've always thought he could fight. So I always back him every time he fights. And I think the UFC wasted his talent. He's really good talent. And I think the UK has got big talent here and it's not being shown in the UFC. What's your opinion on that?
Say it again.
What's your opinion on the UFC with the UK talent?
You know, I think they've taken their focus off Europe for a little while, you know, and I think that now they've taken the focus off. We've got other big events popping up, Aries and Octagon and Hexagon and obviously PFL. There's a lot of stuff, you know, coming in to fill the gap that the UFC have left behind. But I think in the coming years they'll pick up their presence over here again. I know they'll be back in London in March. I know they're planning on other shows around, you know, Dublin and Spain, and there's a lot of things going on. So the UFC will pick up their momentum again at some point, and they'll sign a bunch more fighters from the UK.
Okay, then thanks for your time. Thank you.
No worries.
I appreciate your time.
No worries, man. Anytime.